everyone. Once again, I'm Rashmi from Desi Girl magazine. I welcome you all, and today our guest is a very pretty young artist. And
Hi Rashmi, hi. Can you hear
hi,
me?
yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
hi, Niyati, how are you?
Very well. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. So, how you been?
Wonderful, as good as one can be. Yeah, doing
Busy?
great. Slightly busy and not so much, but it's going good.
No, that I was just telling
Yeah.
our viewers that today we have a very young, beautiful artist, and we're gonna just see how your journey has been. You know,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
happy to share it. I'm so happy to share it with you all.
thank you, thank you. So, where are you from, and where were you born and brought up?
So I grew up in Dehradun. It's a very beautiful small town in North India. I don't know if many people know about it. It's a very small town. It's a valley and it's near the Himalayas. So like a typical North Indian small town. So I grew up there. I was there till the 12th standard. And after that, I moved to Delhi for my education, higher education. So basically, a very normal, typical North Indian middle class upbringing, that sort of a setup.
Yeah, I just saw that you are right now. You're in Lucknow.
Yeah, right now I'm in Lucknow. My husband works here, so I'm living with him for for now. And otherwise, our base is Dehradun, and we keep
Okay,
going back home. So,
okay.
a girl from
Good.
the Himalayas.
Oh, yeah, very
Yeah.
beautiful. Actually, yeah, I'm also from Lucknow.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I just
So you
happened. I
must
was
have
just,
heard of Dehradun as well then.
of course, of course.
Yeah, because otherwise, maybe, it's not a big city, so not many people know about, but I'm
No,
sure
no,
you
no.
do now.
Dehradun is quite, many people they know because it's a kind of a hill station.
Yeah,
People
it's
they
a
just
hill
go.
station. Yeah,
Yeah,
so something like that.
yeah. So, Niyati, how your journey began? You just told us that you went for higher education. Was it particularly into art or you?
No, completely different. So I was always into art and crafts, etc. Even growing up in school,
Mhm.
but it wasn't something that was taken as seriously. Like all Indian households
Hmm.
are. It wasn't a profession. You weren't supposed to
Hmm.
do it for earning money and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had a typical education. I did a graduation in botany from Delhi University, and I'm actually a scientist, and I have a PhD in natural resource
Oh,
management.
oh,
And up until last year, I had a very typical research job. I was a young scientist. I was working in China, and I came back to India because of COVID. And
yeah.
since then, I've just been here. So that's when I started, taking my art more seriously and doing it like a business. But other than that, growing up, I did a master's in environmental sciences and a PhD in natural resource management. So my education has nothing to do with arts at all.
You're so interesting. I never knew that you're a scientist.
Yeah, actually,
Really?
I am.
Yeah. It's
Professionally,
really
I am a
interesting.
research scientist.
See, when we talk, we come to know so many wonderful things
Eh,
about the people, and it's a complete. That's what we see especially in the South Asian community. We
yeah,
are like more focused on okay, art is there or anything, craft is there. Okay,
exactly.
it's fine. You do it, but you should have a different, career that has always.
Exactly.
So, how did this thing happen that being a scientist, you have such a wonderful career, right? And
Yeah.
you were working. So how did this art came into between? Why did you started this your whole thing?
So, like I said, I was always interested in art. And
Mm.
I was that student. And, even when I was in university, I was that person, who makes everybody's diagrams in exchange for notes. I was that person. So, like that, I was always interested. And while I was doing my PhD in the
Mhm.
last year of my PhD in
Mhm.
2017, so anybody who's ever done a PhD will know it's a very intense course,
Yes,
and
yes.
I was completely fried by the end of it, and I was so exhausted. So at that time, I was looking at, I thought that I should develop some hobby, because if I keep doing this, then I'll completely
Yes,
burn out. And
yes,
that's when I came across mandalas on Instagram. I saw a
yeah.
lot of people were making them, and I found
Mhm.
that so meditative and so, peaceful and calming. So that, I used to spend hours, after I was done with my lab work, I used to just come
Yeah.
back and go back to it and then start posting it on Instagram,
Mhm.
and people started appreciating it. And so, that's how it began. That's how it,
Yeah,
restarted sort of.
right.
And then in 2019 and early 2020, I spent some time in China. And then again,
Yeah.
I was working as a research scientist. And
Okay.
because of the communication barrier, you can say that I didn't have many friends there. So again,
Yeah,
art became a sort of thing. I go back to my apartment and then I
yeah,
can just do that and focus on myself. So that's how it, sort of restarted.
yeah. That is very wonderful. So now, but I see that you are kind of, when did you thought to go to Instagram, and you have a lot of posting with your beautiful artwork. And now you also
Yeah.
have a separate website. I was going through that also. And,
Yeah.
it has beautiful bottle designs. And, I was just going through. It was so inspiring because I also started doing a little bit of art, not as good as you, but, that is really inspiring and beautiful. So when did those things started?
That started in the COVID-19 lockdown.
Okay.
I was posting on Instagram for a very long time. Maybe this account
Mhm.
I started in 2017, but I was very
Okay.
irregular, and I just,
Uh-huh.
came back from office, and whenever I
Mhm.
had time, I did things like that.
Right.
But it was only in the lockdown that we had last year, the first wave.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
that time, I was just at home. It wasn't so serious. Thank God that year was still better than what we just faced.
Mhm.
But that time I just, taught myself how to make a website because I was
Mhm.
completely bored. So I made
Yeah.
that website for myself, just searching for things online. So that's how it began. And then people started showing interest. So I was like, yeah, this is possibly something, because I really do enjoy it a lot. And
Mhm.
now I feel like I'm at a point in time of my life that, I've already have some good work ex. I have a good degree, and I can, take a break. I can take some time for myself and pursue this and really see that if I can make something, like a career out of
Yes.
it. If I
Yes.
will be able to do that, that'll be
Mhm.
perfect. And if not,
Yeah.
then I have a good option to fall back to.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you didn't got any help from outside. You just created the
Yeah,
website and
yeah,
did everything by yourself.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you're
yeah.
So when you started, so right now I think that you are selling also. So
Yeah,
you are
I
kind of
am.
into business. Yeah, you are into business. So how does it work? Are you alone, or you have somebody who is helping you out with the
No,
things?
it's just me. I'm doing everything, the marketing to the making to the selling to the shipping. I'm doing everything by myself, and
Okay.
sometimes my family helps me out, but most of the time it's just me. And I also manage the website by myself because it's just very new right now, and
Yeah.
I'm just testing waters and seeing how it
Mhm.
goes. If by God's grace, if it's become something bigger than this, then I might maybe hire someone. But right now, it's quite manageable by myself.
How you come up with
Yeah.
this nice, the name Walter Mitty? How did this thing happen?
So, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, it's also a movie now, but it's a short story by James Thurber. And when we were growing up in the 12th standard, I remember there was this short story that was taught to us, and it was about a guy who had a separate life in his head. He
Mhm.
had one persona for everybody, and then in his head, he was sometimes a fighter pilot, sometimes a surgeon, saving someone's life.
Mhm.
So it was about somebody who, apart from what they seem on the outside, have this
Mhm.
own world that they're living in. So I kind of felt like that, that I was a scientist, I was working in a very hardcore, rigorous
Yeah.
research field, and at the same time, in my head, I was an artist, and I had a different life altogether. So
Yeah.
inspired by that, short story, I named myself Miss Walter Mitty because that was the name
Yeah.
of the character in that story.
No, that's a very, in deep. I was thinking about this. Why this name? How does it? But now I came to know about it. No, that's
Yeah.
so wonderful. So when you started all these things, how did you go? Didn't get anything from your family? Were they supportive? You know,
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely. They were completely supportive. Like I said, what does a typical Indian family expect? That you get a bachelor's degree and that you get a master's degree and then you do finish your education and you get a good job and get married. I'd already done all that.
Everything.
you know, there
Yeah,
isn't anything left that they expect from me. So, I'm sort of free
yeah,
to do whatever. And it is, I have
yeah.
that luxury, a lot of people, and I
Mm,
see a lot of people who reach out to me on Instagram who are struggling,
mm,
people who are still in graduation and they're very
mm,
good. And then they
mm,
message me that, Dee, we want to pursue this. And how do we do
mm.
that? Our parents are not supporting. I was like,
Yes,
even my
yes,
parents would have done that. It's how Indian families
yes,
work,
yes. Yeah,
there's,
there are a lot of women, especially, and girls,
yeah.
and I mean, whether they are married or not, there's a complete different situation and challenges. Not
Yeah,
everybody is
yeah,
that lucky that they can pursue
exactly.
whatever they want. So, what
Definitely.
would you
And
like
even
to?
for me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have pursued this if I was fresh out of graduation. I was a graduate in botany. And if I
Right,
just came out then and said that, I'm leaving this and doing an arts business or something like that, my parents would have really freaked out.
right. Yeah, yeah. I was,
Yeah,
I was thinking. So you have a particular style, like bottles with beautiful, you can just tell that it has a particular style.
yeah.
What exactly is your style? Why you came up with this, and why you chose this kind of particular style only?
So initially, I started with mandalas, and
Mm,
eventually, I became very interested in kalamkari and Persian motifs and things like that. So I try to incorporate a lot of that, and also because I'm a very avid gardener also, and I love plants and things like that. So I have a lot of elements of nature, and you'll see a lot of
mm,
petals and flowers in my designs. So
mm.
I try to sort of bring everything together, my education in botany, my love for art, and sort
Everything.
of bring everything together and make some floral patterns, which is my absolute favorite. And that, along with symmetrical patterns, is something that I like doing.
Yeah. Do you got any professional, like you are telling that Kalamkari or
Yeah,
mandalas?
yeah, yeah.
Did you get any professional? Or it was just self-driven and you did it by
No,
yourself.
no, just completely self-driven. Initially, when I was learning, I used to go to Pinterest a lot and see what
Mhm.
other people are doing. And
Mhm.
there are a lot of good artists on Instagram also.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
try to copy their patterns and things like that.
Yes.
Now it's sort of become second nature to me, and I try to make sure that nothing is similar to anybody else's. And but initially, for practicing, I did that, and it was mostly self-taught. Everything was self-taught. I've never taken a class or tutorial, although now I do feel that if people
Mhm.
do take those sort of classes and tutorials, it does make a difference. It makes a big difference. Like one of my
Yes.
sisters is graduating in fine arts now, so we
Oh.
discuss a lot. And I
Mhm.
see that when you have an education in arts, it does
Yes.
make a difference. Yes.
Yes. It does make a difference.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely. Yes.
definitely.
We can see into the art. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah. So, what kind of tools and if some artists they want to know what kind of tools or things are to start off with if somebody wants to start.
Mm, if you want to make mandalas, I would say, it depends. Your tools depend on what you want to do. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people reach out to me to know how to make mandalas. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
make mandalas, then you don't need any tools. I do not recommend any special kind of pens or nothing. People are
Mm-hmm.
drawing beautiful mandalas with just ballpoint pens. It's your
Yeah.
skill. It doesn't depend on what tool you use. But if you want
Mm-hmm.
painting, then due to painting and bottle arts that I do,
Yes.
then my go-to is acrylics. Acrylic paints work on any surface, so I
Mm-hmm.
always use that for everything, and they're very durable and nice. So these are just the two kind of tools that depending on what you want to do, that I recommend to people if they ask me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If somebody orders some artwork from you, how much time do you prepare beforehand, or it is everything is custom designed? How do you?
Most of my things are custom designed. Especially, I was also selling nameplates, and bottles that I sell are basically, unique pieces. I just make
Mhm.
them and I put them up on my website, and they're just single pieces. If it's sold, it's sold. I don't repeat the same pattern again,
Oh, okay.
unless
I
somebody like
Yeah.
specifically asks for something like that. But it's
Uh-huh.
very difficult to just, copy the same thing again. Even for me,
Yes.
I can't copy my own
Yeah.
design again.
Yes,
Yeah, because
even I was thinking the same thing, the thing which you answered, that if some like there is a painting, even if somebody asks for the same kind of painting or same bottle, if it's gone, then you just remove it from the website. That's what you do?
yeah, yeah. I just remove it from the website. Like, I can suggest people that, I can make something very similar to this, but
Yes,
a painting or even a bottle design for that matter,
yeah,
it's something that
yeah,
flows organically. I might not be able to replicate it exactly same to same.
yes,
Even,
yes.
I will do it very similar, but I would not. So for all the
Yeah, it
custom
won't come
designs
the
that I
same.
do,
Yes,
exactly, I have a disclaimer on my website that says that, these are made to order and it might not be exactly the same. And people mostly they understand that.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No,
No,
people, I
because
think
yeah, people because a lot of people have this thing in mind. If like somebody's selling something, especially artwork is something which it comes out. Sometimes I
exactly,
also feel
exactly.
that some painting are mine is very nice, which I like it. Some I think no, it's really not good or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They are different. So how does it work?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so you just pack
That's
them and you just send it to them. That's how it
yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah. So right now my business is all based in my one apartment, and it's a mess because that stuff and wrapping sheets everywhere. But that's how I'm doing it, and I also sell some nameplates, and there's a lot of interest for that. And I for
Mhm.
that, a lot of people are selling nameplates, but I make them with kalamkari designs, and
Yeah.
a lot of people like that. And again, they are made to order and take
Yes.
about 15 to 20 days for if I have to ship, because I
Yeah.
like taking my time. I can't rush it. People can't tell me like
Hmm.
do it in 3 days, because the quality will
Yes.
not be the same, and I'm not
Yeah.
satisfied with the kind
Right.
of
Right.
work that, yeah.
And plus, if you have something else, it's not just that you are doing that
Yeah, it's
only.
not, and even when you're making a custom piece like that, you need time, like for every layer to dry so that you can work on it. So if you're rushing, then it will never be the same quality, because color might get smudged and things like that. So there are a lot of technicalities in that.
What do you think about the art? Has art changed, and how do things have changed from previous time to nowadays? Because I nowadays I
um
see a lot of people are coming for the
yeah,
art.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interest definitely has increased. Like I said, when I was growing up, I was always interested in art. But
Mm.
it's not like my parents asked me not to do it. It
Mm.
was a thought that didn't even come to me myself.
Yes.
It never came to me that it could be a
Mm.
career option. But now
Mm.
I see a lot of 18 and
Mm.
19-year-olds, even on Instagram, they have their own businesses. They're getting orders, and it's lovely.
Yes.
It's so amazing. It's wonderful what social media has done for them.
Yes.
And so things like that, obviously there are two kinds of arts. One
Mm.
is like the Van Goghs and the
Yes.
different kind of arts, but what
Yes.
we do is basically more commercial and more
Yes.
doable for everybody else.
Right.
And
Right.
in that sense, I think the situation has really changed, and especially in the economics of it. If you talk about it, people are
Mm.
really interested in purchasing handmade products. This
Right.
is something that is coming up
Yes.
now in India.
Yes.
People are really expressing they want
Yes.
to spend that extra money to have something that is custom
Mhm.
made just for them. So
Yes.
this,
Yes.
I think when we were younger, my parents would have never bought
Never.
something like that. Never, never. This is not even a question. But now people are interested in things like that. So I
Yeah.
think that's what's changing.
Yes, definitely it's changing now. Even when I go to big shops or big stores, they have custom designed, or they will say it's handcrafted.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
there over
handcrafted.
there. Yeah, it is
Exactly,
written, and
exactly.
it is exactly, and the price is so it's quite
Yeah,
high. Yeah, and
yeah,
even not just in this field, in different fields also, organic products or even the
exactly, exactly.
cosmetics.
So people
These
are
things.
sort of trying to go back to those
Mm,
things, handmade and
going back to
organic,
the
and
roots.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I think, see, that is definitely changed in the last. past
Yeah,
5, 10
and people
years.
are
Yeah.
ready to pay for it. People are ready
Yeah,
to
yeah,
pay
yeah.
for it.
People are ready
That
to pay for it. That is
is,
interesting.
yeah. So how difficult being sometimes do you think, of course, your life has been such a, you have done the things and you had such wonderful parents, your family, they are so supportive. You did, but not everybody's life is that
Yeah,
kind. So,
definitely.
have you ever thought that what kind of challenges as a woman, if they want to become an entrepreneur, like you are doing your own business, so
Mhm.
what kind of challenges do they face, and how to
I
overcome
think
them?
there are a lot of challenges, and I think for women especially, I mean, the challenges of being an entrepreneur. I think the beginning of it is
Hmm.
similar for men and women, but when
Hmm.
you come to women, there are a lot of, especially in Indian societies and South
Hmm.
Asian societies, there are a lot
Hmm.
of things, baggages that come along with being a woman,
Yes. Yes.
and thankfully, you see, like I said, that I am from a relatively well-off
Yes.
household, so
Right.
I don't
Right.
have those kind of
Hmm.
challenges. But I see
Hmm.
other people, and I am completely aware of the fact that there are other people who
Yeah.
have some maybe household responsibilities. There
Yes.
are people who are
Yes.
extremely talented. Like just
Hmm.
today, I wouldn't mention
Hmm.
the handle, but I saw a girl that who was very good at arts, and she just put up an Instagram post that I will not be taking orders anymore because I have family responsibilities, and my child is growing up and things like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they have to discontinue things, and
Right.
there's
Right.
certain kind of social
Yeah.
pressures. Along with
Hmm.
that, if you are a woman and you are starting a business,
Hmm.
right from getting your business licenses to dealing with
Yes.
vendors, and
Hmm.
there is an inherent sexism that comes from everyone. It's like
Yes.
even the simplest thing, like the delivery guy is coming and he's like, "Madam, किसी को phone दे दो, आपको नहीं बताया ना आएगा." Things
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know, things
This
like
is
that
definitely.
you everyday general sexism that you face.
Yeah.
So I think now women are starting to own
Hmm.
it and come out,
Hmm.
but I
Yes.
think in the previous generation it would have been very difficult to do that. But
Yes.
things are improving slowly,
Yes.
but I think
Yes.
we need to
Yeah,
just
it will
move.
take time. It
It
will
will
take
take
time. It's
time.
not a one day thing, and
Yeah,
people's
yeah, yeah.
mindset is that's what we are trying to bring the stories of the, especially the women and the girls who have really done such things so that we can inspire, even if we inspire one person also, that will be grateful.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They should,
That's
because
true.
talent should come out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that definitely.
I think for that, it's very important for women to be a little, just do not hear every single opinion that you get.
Right.
Don't take things to your heart, because,
Yeah.
I know that it's stupid advice.
Hmm.
Some maybe
Hmm.
that, people are not
Hmm.
going to change, and
Hmm.
people will try to bring you down, even if it's
Yes.
your own,
Yes.
distant relatives will be
Yes.
like, what are you
Yes.
doing with your life? This is not never going to work. But if you think it's going
Yeah.
to work, then just
Yeah.
stay put and do it, and things will work if
No,
you put
very,
in the hard
very
work.
true, actually.
Yeah,
Actually, I know one of my distant relative. I mean, she wants to work. I mean, she's so much eager into doing things, but she
yeah,
has so much responsibilities, and it's nothing
exactly.
that somebody has put on her. Like,
Yeah,
coming from a good family, well-off
yeah,
family, and nothing. But somehow situation comes that way. Kids, husband,
yeah,
in-laws. She's a whole sole one who has to, do
exactly,
everything.
exactly. And
So,
there's again that
yeah,
log kya kahenge,
yes, look at
that
him. And
happens
yeah, and
to
she said,
so
"I
many
want to take out."
people.
Yeah, and she wants to take out the time and all that. And so I tell her that, listen, if you keep on postponing it, that okay, I will do it this time, and when the kids will be out or grown
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
it will never end.
it will
The
never
things
never
will keep
happen.
on coming. It will
Exactly,
anyway.
exactly.
Yeah. So we really have to push out ourselves, and we
Yeah,
have to give it a try.
you
Yeah.
have to give it a, you have to take out time for yourself, as much as it's important to be a part of the family and take care of everyone, and all the things that are
Yeah.
associated with
Yeah.
typical gender roles, if you believe in
Yes.
them. But
Yes.
despite that, it's very important that if you want to do something, you have to take out time for yourself and put your foot down. Even if people are not supporting, just put your foot down and say that I have to do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
And yeah. And if you have not been doing art, what's next? What would have been something else what you will be doing? in
If
leaving
I,
your science, leaving your science.
yeah, I was about to say that I
Leave
would
that.
be doing the same thing.
No, no. If it's not art, then what? What else? Do you think
I
something else?
I cannot think of anything, well, because when I was studying, I wanted to be a teacher. And I still do. I love teaching, When I was in
Mhm.
university, then we used to teach undergraduate students, etc. So maybe I would have done that.
Yeah.
Because in India, again, this is so strange that, teaching is the kind of profession that people think that, if you can't do anything, then
Then you
become
are
a
teacher.
teacher. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so strange for me.
Yeah.
I always
Yes.
was
Even I
like that.
think sometimes
That the lowest of the lowest of people who are not able to do anything are
they will
going to
become
be
they
teaching.
will
This is,
teaching. Yeah, I mean, yeah, really. And
yeah,
especially teacher is also a very gender specific role. It is kind of yeah, people they think that women, it's good, it's a very good
it's
job for
good. Yeah,
women.
then
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
come back at 2 o'clock
yeah.
and then take care of the family
Yeah,
and cook
you
lunch.
can come at 12 or 3 or whatever
Yeah,
clock,
yeah, yeah.
you can take care of the family. Plus, okay, you are getting some money. I mean, I just think, why you think that?
Exactly, things like that. So no, not in that sense, but yeah, I had some very wonderful teachers when I was growing
Mhm.
up in
Yeah,
Dehradun. Dehradun is actually famous for schools, and we had
right.
some very wonderful, inspiring teachers. And even when I was in university, we had
Mhm.
some wonderful teachers. So I always used to
Mhm.
look up to them really, and
Yeah,
I still do. If I
yeah,
get a teaching job, I'll do it,
yes.
because I really think that even if you can mold a few people, and if you can give,
Mhm.
pass on your ideas, it's a very noble thing to do.
No, definitely. I
Yeah.
completely agree with it. And
Yeah,
there are many countries where the teachers, they are kind of most high paying jobs and
exactly,
they are very much respectable jobs.
exactly.
I
But
was I was
yeah,
yeah, I was reading somewhere in South Korea they were saying that they are kind of the most high paying job. People they
exactly,
really go for it. They want
exactly.
it.
It is
Yes.
in most in developed countries where they
Mhm.
understand that the importance of education. Then they
Mhm. Yes.
put that kind of emphasis on having
Right.
good quality faculty. And
Right.
I
Yeah.
think it's high time that in India, people start paying more attention to that.
Yes. And
Yeah.
don't I don't like that people they make as gender specific role for certain job.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's not right.
exactly. That is
Yeah.
absolutely not right. And it happens in every field, And
Yes.
even when I
Yes.
was working in the research community, so
Mhm.
my field work, my study was on forests, okay, forests
Mhm.
of Himalaya. So there
Mhm.
were many interviews where I went to, and I have a PhD, and I'm as good as
Mhm.
anybody else in that research
Yes. Yes.
group. But they
Yes.
would be like, you're a girl. How will you go for field work? How will you go to the
Yeah.
forest? And but I've already done that. I've trained for
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't be. So I lost a lot of jobs when I was working in the research field
Right.
also, not
Yes.
because I was not qualified, but because they were like, "Oh, how will we send a girl to the field? Who will take her
Yes.
responsibility?"
Yeah, this thing happens. Actually, when you
Yeah,
told me, this reminded me of my interview when I went for interview. I'm in, from a marketing side.
yeah,
So after completing my MBA, when I went, they asked me that, okay, this is different field. You have to work on, sometimes you have to go out, you have to meet, and it can be late hours also. So I was like, why are you telling me? I know that. I have chosen those
exactly,
that field. I know it.
exactly. Right. And like the same like me,
Yeah.
I know my job is a field job. I know that I
Yes.
have to go to the forest, I have to go to the field. Then why are you asking me these questions? Would you ask a
Yeah.
man that can you go? And also, in India,
Mhm.
also when I interview, many a times it happened that,
Mhm.
they would ask, are you married? So if
Yeah.
you say no, then they would say that then you will get married and you will leave the city.
Yeah.
We can't hire you.
Yeah.
And if you say, are you married? And then you say yes, then we like,
Very
oh, then
good.
she will be busy with the housework, then we can't take you.
I know.
So
And there's a lot
either
of
answer is
yeah.
wrong.
And there's a lot of problem like if sometimes the women they take a break and when they go back,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
also yeah. They are
that
saying
is
that it's
something.
finished.
Yeah,
So it's a very
absolutely.
big problem. It's a big
Taking
challenge.
a break is a big challenge, and you really have
Mhm.
to think twice about it, whether or not you
Right.
can afford that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes for many people, it's not an option. A lot of
Yes.
women I know that who have had to take that break.
Right. Right.
And of late, the jobs
Yeah.
also, the
Yeah.
unemployment is at its highest in the country. And
Mhm. Mhm.
especially, and with that, if you have a
Yes.
break in career, then there
Mhm.
is no end to where you will, end
Right.
up. Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes just not because of the family pressure, societal pressure. Sometimes you want to take a break. That is
Exactly.
also
And
there.
that is completely not a concept in India. And I think most South Asian countries,
Mhm.
taking time for yourself, or, taking
Yeah.
a break, taking a voluntary break, you really have to
Mhm.
explain it. I think it's
Right.
not like that in the West, because I have a lot of friends there, and
Uh,
people, who come to
mhm.
India and, spend some time here.
Mhm.
But in India, taking time for yourself is not a
Yeah,
concept.
it's a
If it's a
luxury.
yeah, it's a luxury you can't afford. It's something
Right.
that is unheard of completely.
Right.
What do you want to do with your life? Not doing anything.
Yeah. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, peacefully. We want to be
so
peaceful.
so like me, right now I am sort of taking a break from my research career, and I am trying to see that if I can make something out of my art business, and I
Right.
really want to do it. It really
Yes.
brings me joy. And
Right.
of late, when you must have seen on
Mm.
my page, my upcycle bottles, and I'm
Yes.
trying to make products that are sustainable. I'm trying to bring whatever
Mhm.
knowledge I have of
Yeah.
environment, and making environmentally conscious products, and
Right.
upcycling old items, and things like
Right.
that. So I'm working on a range of that. So I'm trying to
Right.
bring everything together, but for that I need time, and that
Right.
will count as a break in career. So I don't know,
Yes.
if this doesn't take off, then going back to my
Yeah.
old job would be a
Mhm.
challenge. Yes.
Yes. But I think that things are changing. It's
Yeah.
definitely challenges are there, but I think
Definitely,
things
definitely.
are changing, and people, they are putting those things. If they are over here also, when I came over here, I saw many things. People, they put, if they have done something voluntary work or anything, they are
Yeah.
showing that, and
Exactly.
the companies, they consider that. Of course, that's the
Exactly.
experience. You
Exactly.
are putting your time. You're using your talent for the entrepreneurship, and you're doing different
Yeah,
different kind of
yeah.
things.
So things are,
So
they are definitely changing, and especially in the
yes.
private sector, I think they're more accepting of
Hmm.
it. Corporates, maybe not so
Right.
much in the government organizations, or
Yes. Yes.
typical government setups, but I think
Mm-hmm.
in private organizations they are
Yes.
really
Yes.
changing their point of view in terms of these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. So do you for the materials, whatever you take, so do you have a vendor or something, or you go for wholesale? How does it work, or do you just come up?
I think like I don't have a vendor as such right now, because
Mm-hmm.
I am not taking bulk orders at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I have identified vendors for everything that I want plan to do in the future. A few vendors here and there, maybe it's for canvas, or I'm working on a line of terracotta products, so maybe it's for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But at the moment, because it's not such a large scale business, so
Yes.
I just buy in bulk, maybe from India Mart or from Amazon, bulk products like
Okay.
that, but
Okay.
not hoarding things
Uh-huh.
as of yet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you think, what do you plan, or you look your business, your work 5 years from now?
Oh, 5 years is a long time. I haven't really thought about that. I really haven't thought about that. I see that eventually, there are a lot of plans in my mind. So I want to go back to Dehradun. First thing is that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was also thinking that if, 5 years down the line, I was also thinking that maybe I would be able to include some women from the hills into my business,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
train them, and then together we can have a sort of women's group that gives them employment, and
Right.
something that this is not a new thing. A lot
Yeah.
of people are doing that,
Yes.
but I
Yes. Yes.
know from my village, and even other villages in the
Mm-hmm.
Himalayan region, where from the region where I'm
Yes.
from, there
Yes.
are a lot of young girls who
Yeah.
would be interested in something like
Yes.
that, and being
Yes.
independent. So that is
Right.
something that I have at the back of my mind, that if this grows, those are the
Mm-hmm.
kind of employees I would want.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it can, you can really grow up your business,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely.
exactly. So
Yes.
like, really, if this takes off, then I would want to have a dedicated wing for including other women from
Yeah.
marginalized communities and villages, etc., who work.
Yeah. Who is your biggest inspiration?
My
Who or what?
inspiration.
It can be anything.
I don't know inspiration. My inspiration is art itself. It just gives me so much joy. And if you talk about inspiration as such, because my designs are inspired by nature, by plants, a
Mhm.
lot of botanicals. So I would say nature is my inspiration, or environment is my inspiration. And other than that, uh, because like I said, I'm not a trained artist.
Mhm.
I don't have that knowledge of what kind of art forms are there, or I
Right.
cannot name five important artists on my fingertips. I really can't.
Yeah, yeah.
To be honest about it, so I don't have a person as an inspiration as such.
Mhm.
But I do, go back to a lot of things in nature, and a lot of things, plants and botanicals and flowers. And if I see some beautiful tree, I'll take a picture and I'll think of how I can use that in one of my designs. So something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And coming, what advice you like to give to the young artist and to, I will say everyone actually, who want to make up something in their life, and if they are doing, to follow their own passion, what
Yeah.
advice or tips you like to give to our Desi girls?
See, if you want to do this art business, I'll say, for a living, I think first is don't copy anybody. Be original. Think it
Hmm.
will take time. Develop your own style. See what you
Hmm.
like. Obviously, you can be inspired by a number of artists,
Right.
around the world. But at the end of the day, if you're not unique, if you're not doing something that everybody is not doing, it will be very difficult to establish yourself.
Hmm.
Also, one another advice that I really want to give is that if you're doing something commercial with your art, respect your time and respect your talent, because
Hmm.
I see a lot of young artists out there, maybe all of 19 or 20 or 21, things like that, who are selling like very cheap. Their products are selling so cheap that it's
Yeah.
just basically material costs that they're doing.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yes. Yes.
I just want them to know that you have
Mhm.
to pay yourself. Do
Right.
that.
Yes.
And otherwise it will be very difficult for you to
Mhm.
establish anything, and people respect it if you put in that effort. Respect yourself and pay yourself, and give
Right.
yourself that kind of credit. You deserve it. So that
Yeah.
is something that I think a lot of young people should know. It's not just
Yes.
about Instagram followers. It's not just about how many followers you have, or how
Yes.
much products you're selling. It's
Yeah.
you are an artist. It's your talent, and you should respect yourself. And if you do, then other people will also follow.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Niyati, for coming and sharing this beautiful. We had
It
such
was
a beautiful
lovely
conversation.
talking to you.
Yeah. No, lovely talking to you too. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay.
Have a nice
Bye.
have a nice
Have a
day.
nice
Bye
day.
bye.